Over the years, deleted scenes from A New Hope have surfaced for Star Wars aficionados to celebrate and enjoy, and some scenes have even been reintegrated into the movie. But the most consequential scenes featuring Biggs' Darklighter have not. Perhaps the Biggs clips remain on the cutting room floor due to pacing issues, or even the pathos they bring towards the film's climax, which clashes with the upbeat ending. Luckily, Star Wars fans can still enjoy those deleted scenes as they are included in the novelization, the radio drama, clips, and more importantly for us, the original Marvel comic book adaptation. Marvel Comics was working from an early version of A New Hope, which included Biggs' Darklighter, Luke Skywalker's childhood friend from Tatooine. In the 102-page adaptation, Biggs is seen or mentioned on 10 pages of the story across 3 issues. Biggs is first shown in Star Wars #1 on page 5 when Luke races to Anchorhead, excited to tell his friends about the space battle he just witnessed. Biggs is visiting, and we learn he has received his commission from the Academy and assigned aboard the frigate Rand Ecliptic. An excited Luke remembers why he is at Tashi Station and leads Biggs outside to show him the battle in orbit, but Biggs dismisses it as just a freighter tanker refueling. Just 3 pages later, Biggs and Luke are alone, and Biggs confides that he has plans to jump ship and join the rebellion, instead of being drafted into the Empire. It is assumed by later stories that Biggs attended an Imperial Academy and is serving aboard an Imperial spacecraft, the Rand Ecliptic, so the idea that he could be drafted into the Empire is an interesting one. It implies the Academy is not Imperial and the Rand Ecliptic is not an Imperial spacecraft. Luke explains his uncle needs him and he won't be attending the Academy this season, and Biggs harshly tells him, "What good is all your uncle's work if he ends up merely a tenant soon, slaving away for the greater glory of the Empire?" As Biggs departs, Luke tells him he will always be the best friend I've got. While not shown, Biggs is mentioned when Luke is having dinner with his Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. Luke, clearly emboldened by the visit from Biggs, tells his uncle he would like to apply for the Academy this year, but his uncle is apprehensive. The conversation ends with Luke storming off, but not before saying, "That's what you said last year when Biggs and Tank left." Uncle Owen replies, "Where are you going?" And Luke Skywalker retorts, "It looks like I'm going nowhere. I have to finish cleaning those droids." It is clear that Luke wants to follow his best friend Biggs, and much of his discontent is due to conversations that he and his best friend must have had growing up together. Biggs is following his dreams, and Luke has convinced himself that he is obligated to help his uncle instead of following his own. The next time we see Biggs is on 2 pages of Star Wars #5. A saddened Luke Skywalker says goodbye to Han Solo and Princess Leia Organa in the Rebel hangar on Yavin 4, but then is greeted by his best friend Biggs, now wearing an X-Wing pilot uniform. Luke must have just missed him at the Death Star plan debriefing. Luke is clearly elated, and their squadron leader interrupts the conversation, asking about Luke's qualifications to fly. Biggs steps in and vouches for his best friend. The squadron leader mentions when he was a boy, he met Luke's father, describing him as a great pilot and a Jedi Knight. If Luke has half his father's skills, he'll do better than all right. Finally, Luke and Biggs agree to catch up on recent events and depart, but not before Biggs tells Luke, "It's going to be like old times, little buddy. We're a couple of shooting stars that'll never be stopped." Star Wars #6 encompasses the Rebel assault on the Death Star, and Biggs is shown several times. It is interesting to note that on page 2, Biggs is designated Blue 3 and Luke is Blue 5, but in the movie they are both part of Red Squadron, not Blue Squadron. I'm guessing the color of Luke's helmet emblems and the red paint on the exterior of his X-Wing fighter prompted this change to the squadron designation. On page 6, Luke destroys a TIE fighter that is chasing Biggs. This is Luke's first kill during the battle. On page 7, Biggs is shown mourning the loss of fellow pilot Tano Porkins. Stories in canon, and the expanded universe, detail the friendship that formed between Biggs and Porkins during the brief time that Biggs joined the rebellion. 2 pages later, Blue Leader is killed by Darth Vader, leaving just Luke, Biggs, and Wedge Antilles as the remaining members of Blue Squadron. Luke's natural instinct to lead kick in, and he commands the others to follow him into the trench of the Death Star. This is an important progression for Luke, and is the first step in justifying his rank as commander in The Empire Strikes Back. Biggs' death comprises the entirety of page 11, highlighting the importance of his character to Luke Skywalker. Darth Vader's TIE fighter descends on Biggs' X-Wing fighter in the trench and fires. Biggs' ship begins to break up and explodes. Wedge Antilles notes the loss, and Luke is understandably upset. Captions profoundly capture the impact of Luke. What was it Luke said to Biggs a short eternity ago? "You'll always be the best friend I've got." Most, if not all, of the action from the battle in the 6th issue are shown in the movie, including Biggs' role. The comic does a good job capturing the emotional death of Biggs and how much of a loss this was to Luke. It is impossible to see how the movie could have made this scene any better. When you realize the gut punch losing his best friend must have been to Luke, it is understandable why his story was dropped from the final film. The film ends on an upbeat note, but the death of Biggs, Luke's best friend, is tragic. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe so I can bring you more content, and please leave a comment below.